Hi, everybody. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I am 184 days cancer free. Last week I took 80,156 steps, ate my fruits and veggies, and I'm grateful for another day. So it's been a good week, and yeah. What I'm grateful for this week is contacts. So I don't know, when I was like 25 ish, I was in California driving at night and realized I couldn't really read the street signs. And up to that point, I just assumed I never need glasses or anything. I finally go and get glasses. I try not to wear them very often. I wear them at night because I don't have a really strong prescription, but it's bad enough that I definitely needed them, especially at night. And then over time, I started actually wearing them for real. And for whatever reason, they'd either fall off or I had to get them really tight and they would start to get an indent on the side of my head. And they're just annoying. And I tried getting contacts. I didn't like them, didn't have the willpower to stick it through. And I went back to wearing glasses for a while. And then I finally said, you know what? I think I'm done. I think part of it was because I was using the Oculus and I wanted to be able to not have the glasses in the way. And I'm like, you know what? Let me go get contacts. That wasn't the main reason, but that was part of it. Anyway, finally get contacts, and I have the dailies. If you don't have contacts and you're looking to get contacts, I highly recommend dailies. But yeah, now it's like I can just see again. And I just put them in the morning and throw them away at night. And it's just like I don't even need glasses. So grateful for that. It's pretty cool to be able to just see stuff again. Anyway, so the topic this week is going to be Amla. It's probably a fruit you've never heard of. It's called, also known as the Indian gooseberry, Indian gooseberry, or Amla. And I get it on Amazon in a powdered form and an organic powdered form. I'll throw a link in the comments if anyone's interested, or not the comments, in the description. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about it. So Amla is a fruit that has been used in India for thousands of years, 3,000 years ago. They've got documented use cases of it. It's been used for medicinal medicine, but it's just something that they also just use and eat and use in, I think, their food and stuff. So what is it? Well, it's a fruit. It's a kind of little green ball looking thing. It doesn't taste great. So I haven't gotten a fresh one yet. Maybe one of these days I will, but apparently it's sour, tangy, bitter. And ChatGPT describes it as, imagine mixing a lemon, green apple, and a hint of bitter tea. Overall, not very tasty. The powder itself is pretty strong, and that's what I use. And it's not great, but the benefits are really awesome. So that's really the reason why you would take it. So it's high in vitamin C, antioxidants, iron, and calcium. So for someone who's doing plant-based, it's a great addition, but it's just a great addition in general. So I kind of call it's in the top 3 superfoods in my opinion. So I'm going to say garlic, turmeric, and amla. For my personal opinion, and I'll probably do a video on turmeric at some point. There's a lot of really great foods out there, but amla can do some pretty awesome stuff. So we'll talk about some of the benefits of it. So one, there's benefits for inflammation. So it reduces oxidative stress, inhibits pro-inflammatory cytokines. I can't really say that, but basically it's good for inflammation, which inflammation is where cancer typically starts. So that's why it's a target for that. But it's even better than that. So it's also good for heart health. So it lowers your LDL cholesterol and helps regulate blood pressure. So if you think about the things that are bad for you, inflammation, heart health, these are things it helps with. If you take it, you're attacking multiple things at the same time. The other main reason why I got into it is it's good for cancer prevention / healing. So it can inhibit cancer cell growth and reduce DNA damage and induce antipotis. I can't say that word, but basically it tells your body to kill the cancer, right? Which is really hard to do. Like basically chemo does that. Typically cancer doesn't want to kill itself, and having something that tells your body to target it and go get it. Another one that I think does that as well is beta glucan, but this isn't beta glucan. But anyway, it's a pretty awesome thing. It's specifically been found helpful in breast cancer, liver cancer, colon cancer. So those are breast and colon are some of the most common cancers after lung cancer. So it's something that really everyone should be thinking about, because those are the ones that come and get you. But that's not where it's not even done there. It's also good for diabetes. So specifically type 2, but I think it could even be beneficial for type 1. It can lower your blood sugar, improve insulin sensitivity, and basically it hits all the main things. In addition to that, it's also good for immune support. It's got vitamin C in it, and digestive health can improve the digestion, relieves constipation. You might need to eat it in its raw form for that. Promotes collagen, so can help with hair and nails. And then liver protects and aids against detoxification, and then it's also anti-aging. So it can slow the cells aging via antioxidants. It's basically awesome, and all the major killers, it fights against them. So I'm going to throw a couple of links in the description as well, so you're not just taking my word for it. Obviously, do your own research. I always say that. This is just what I believe based off the evidence I have seen. But with plants in particular, there isn't super, super great scientific research. But I will say this has been used by by the largest populated country in the world for 3,000 years. So it's highly safe and obviously works. Otherwise, people wouldn't use it because it doesn't taste amazing. It's not like a super tasty thing. So yeah, get some amla in your life. It can have actual impacts on all of these things, especially if you have something like diabetes, where you can actually see the difference. You can see your blood sugars regulating or do better. So what do I do? I because it isn't great. I mean, there's a couple ways to get it. I haven't found any great recipes to put it in. Maybe I'll experiment and figure that out. But right now, I just put it in my smoothie. So in my smoothie, I've got a ton of superfoods in it. This is one of them. And when I have it in a smoothie, I only do a teaspoon. So I'm not doing a lot. It's not overpowering, and I get it in, no big deal. My wife takes some of it, and she does it just in a little cup of, she does a shot where she has maybe some lemonade or something, or coffee or something. So you can do it however you want. And if you've got any great ideas on good ways to do it, let me know, and I'll take note of it. But yeah, it's not particularly delicious, but it's worth it. It tackles all the big things kind of all at the same time. Awesome. All right. So my hot take for this week is the Air Force is awesome. Kind of goes without saying. Everyone knows it's awesome. There's probably people of different armed forces that would totally disagree. But growing up, I always wanted to be a pilot, a fighter pilot in particular. Didn't pan out that way, and I don't know that it would have been the right choice in the long run, but I wanted to join the Air Force. Anyway, on my way back from my doctor's appointment to this week, I was driving by a base, and there were just F-22s I don't know if they're doing what they were kind of circling. They were like birds of prey circling. Some of them, I don't know if they were landing or what, but it was like, oh, yeah, we have those. And they're just going around. And I'm like, I'm glad they are on our side. And obviously, they weren't doing anything bad. They were just circling, but it was a pretty cool sight. And yeah, it's awesome. Side note, F-22, I think, is kind of the gold standard, has been for a long time. But the F-47 is apparently in production and is expected within 5 years. So we could have another generation of fighters that are even more awesome coming up. All right, so to close this out, let's talk about my cancer and what we found out. So I went to the oncologist this week, and we reviewed my MRI scans. A couple things to note: when they did my blood pressure, in the past they've done it and it was a little bit high. This time it was perfect, 120/80. Not that being exact matters, but it was basically perfection of health. So I like that. I was actually worried to be high because it's been high in the past. I thought maybe it was just like white coat syndrome or whatever. So I'm like, oh great, it's going to be like, 138 over something, but it was right on point. For the MRI, basically everything looks fine. The doctor indicated basically that with an MRI, which is something that I pushed for because he wanted to do another CT. I didn't want the radiation, so I was like, I don't want to do a CT 3 months after the last one. We can do an MRI. So we do an MRI, and he's telling me about all the benefits of doing the MRI because it's able to identify directly if it's cancerous or not, and all the contrast. I'm like, the MRI was my idea. Anyway, nothing in there is cancerous. There is no large lymph node of 6 millimeters. There is some scar tissue, which is, I think, around that size, and maybe that's what the CT saw, and that's what they were thinking was a lymph node. But now, because they did an MRI, they would be like, oh no, that wasn't a lymph node, that was scar tissue. I'm not sure that he didn't say that what they thought was a lymph node was a scar tissue, but he did say that they saw scar tissue. It was roughly the same size, but they were able to identify that it was not a tumor because they did MRI. And then as far as my lymph nodes go, they're like 2 millimeters. So basically everything looks great. There's no signs of any kind of cancer. Now, there is a blood test that I do called the Signatera, where they are able to check in my blood to see if there's any cancer floating around. That was supposed to happen, but the sample got, compromised on the way to the lab. And so I didn't get my blood results for that. We did a blood draw again yesterday for that, and hopefully I'll get blood results for that in a week or two. So I'll probably know next update or the update after that. I am not expecting that one to have any issues, but we'll see. So there's still one last test. After that, everything kind of resets, and I won't have, I think I'll have I'll do blood work every 3 months for the foreseeable future. And then my next set of tests is going to be in September, where I'll do a scan. On my work, it says MRI and CT. I don't want to do both, but I might have to get some clarification why he did both. And then a colonoscopy. So those are going to be in September. So I have some time before all that goes. And it was kind of relieving to hear that one lymph node either wasn't a lymph node or it went down. So yeah, all good news, super excited about it. I think that the diet and the stuff I'm doing, if there is any cancer in there, it's small and my body's fighting it off or is killing it, right? So I'm taking Amla. Amla is potentially killing little baby cancer cells or helping my body do it. I also did just a review of the scans I've had over the past several scans, and starting in Memphis when I had my scan, and just say, hey, what are the differences over time? And when you look at the insides, when I started, I had fatty liver, and I also had mild colitis diverticulosis. And it wasn't colitis, but it was still there. Obviously, my blood work indicated fatty liver. It wasn't, I mean, I wasn't in like the worst health, but I wasn't in great health. And then my last one mostly looked good. Well, the one in between looked pretty good. They thought a lymph node was inflamed, but now it's basically completely clean. And so I think the takeaway there is the stuff I'm doing is while it's also good for cancer, it's just good for my body in general. So it's a across the board win, and it's kind of scientific evidence that what I'm doing is working, right? It's not just crazy. I know that there were people when I was doing the vegan thing concerned, like, hey, this might not be healthy. I mean, yeah, it kind of was because the results are here and I'm in the best health ever. I feel, better than I've ever felt. I'm in the best weight that I've ever been. And my blood work is perfect. So, and some things that I used to have are now gone. So overall, very encouraging. While cancer is a really annoying thing in the sense that it's gone, but it's really not. It's really that 5-year mark, even before the medical community is like, yeah, you're 100% good. So it's something I got to monitor for quite some time. But overall, there's no reason to think that this thing isn't done. All right, well, that's it for this week. Thank you for watching. Appreciate all you guys. You guys have a wonderful week. God bless.